Hey, welcome
Hey,
everybody.
everybody, welcome.
Thanks for joining us on another Don't Worry Wednesday, or I guess Don't Fret Friday, as today is a Monday. So, yeah, you know the show. This is the show where we talk about the issues, whatever issues you guys are dealing with today, whether that be, maybe you had a pet that died, or maybe you're just going through life and you're hitting some bumps in the road. Maybe some conflicts with your parents, or with your siblings, or with friends at school. Relationships are one of those things in life that are probably one of the most difficult things to keep keep simple and plain without having all that stress woven in there. So um, I think that's probably our most common topic is relationships. But anyways, yeah, this is the show where we talk about whatever issues you guys are going through. And most of the time, you guys already know the answers to those things. But we're just here to give you a little bit of encouragement, to maybe give you a little bit of perspective, and just talk about it from a friendly perspective. Sometimes we give advice, but most of the time, like we said, you usually figure it out on your own what you need to do with your problems. But a lot of times, courage is one of those things that is the thing that we're lacking the most in life when it comes to overcoming these things. But anyways, yep, we're not professionals in terms of psychology or psychiatrics, or we're not police officers or demolitionists. We don't know a whole lot about a whole lot, but we know a little about a little. So we're here to give you our best. Yeah. With that said, how you guys doing today? How you doing, Joe?
Oh man, I'm so great. You wouldn't even believe it.
You are so great. I'm looking at
Sometimes,
you and I'm like, wow, look at how great that is. I don't even believe it.
just great.
Yeah.
Great. I had to wear a hat today because it's getting cold again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's terrible. I thought it was supposed to be getting to summer.
Right? I know.
Joking. That's what spring is like. There's really no such thing as spring in Michigan. You have winter, summer, and then the two mud seasons that last for about like a week each, and they're always in the flux. Like, is it going to snow or is it going to be 80 degrees? So that's how it is
It's kind
here.
of the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like winter and summer fight with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And like, no, I'm taking over. And then it's like, no, it's gonna be summer now. No, winter. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's true. That's true. It's because spring is the end of winter. Yeah, that's the way it is in some places. um, yeah. Literally, it was still snowing this month, over where I'm at, and it was dumb. Seriously? You still think it's winter outside, huh? Weather? All right, whatever.
Oh, fine. I'll
Yesterday
just
was
stay
like,
inside. What do you think about that?
yeah, with it.
Weather.
Weather. I'll tell you whether or not I'm going to go outside. Nope.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, how's it going, man? Long time no see. Hope you're doing awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Also, we've got some other people with us. We got SZB, the songwriter. Oh, we haven't seen you in a while either. Welcome. You guys are awesome. I love the
Yes.
chat. It's so positive and welcoming and kind. Seriously, we have one of the best communities in the world, and that's you guys.
We totally do. Which
Princess
means you
is
guys have one of the best communities in the world because it's you
because
guys.
it's yours. Yeah. Deal with it. Excuse me. Awesome.
Did you just say deal with it?
Yeah, I did.
Deal with it. Deal with
Deal
this
with it.
awesome community.
Yeah.
Just deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. Like the best you can, deal with it kindly and graciously. Hey, the Epic Gamer, what's going on? Aaron, the hunter.
Hey, Aaron,
I don't
we've
think
got a
that's
topic. Is that the same one?
I don't think that's the same. That's not Aaron of MCD of McD.
Of McD.
I don't think that's Aaron of McD. I think that's
As,
another Aaron. That
you
might even
sure?
be Aaron, the hunter.
He is. He is.
Oh,
He's
he is
Aaron
Aaron of McD.
of McD.
Sweet.
Now, how are we supposed to pronounce that? Because when I see that, I always just say McD.
He
And
does,
and if
and it's
that's
catchy. It's
if
catchy.
if that's offensive, I apologize. Yes.
Aaron of McD. It's really catchy name.
Oh yeah, last name is McDonald.
Oh,
Yep.
that
So that
works. Yeah, it's McDonald. Then you would to say MCD would probably be weird. I don't know.
yeah, it's better to say McD.
McD. Yeah.
McD.
I heard that McDonald's, the company, there's this group of Canadians that are in Toronto that I got acquainted with at some point in my life, and they always said that McDonald's was called MacDo's. Has anyone ever heard McDonald's being called MacDo?
Nah,
Um,
no.
Apparently, it's an Asian thing, and probably among the Filipino community. I don't know, but they always called it MacDo's. I've
Huh.
never heard it. I've heard Mickey D's.
I've heard Mickey D's.
Yeah. Minecraft Diaries. Oh, I think yeah. Okay. Nice.
I'm so
Mac.
confused.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, Princess is here. How's it going, Princess? Nice to see you. Are you just here for the moment? Are you about to leave, or are you actually available today for a time? Ah, hey, Tef, welcome. The Golden Seagull. Interesting. All right. Yeah, that's fine, Aaron. Yeah, but why don't we get started? I think Aaron would be first here. He's going to double check to see his question is legitimate. But while he does that, we do have some people in the catalog here. So we're just going to call out some names, and if you're here, say that you're here for us, and we can get to your topic. We got
Yes.
Angel, Dead, Knox, Amira, Deku, Aaron of McD, Nathan, Amira again, Bakugo Lover, Sun Ryosuke, Random, Karma, and Winter. Do we have any anonymous ones?
We do not have any anonymous ones. We handled the one that we had last time.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So Winter is here. And I don't see Random here or anything, but cool. So Aaron, what do you say? Does the topic look up to date, or are you gonna have to change some stuff in it? Because that'll let us know whether we should just start off with Winter or with yours. Hey, amazing, welcome. You have to change something, seeing as okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well,
Karma's has an answer, but we can still cover it. Was Karma's one that we could handle?
wait, is Karma here? Wait, who said that? Oh,
Princess.
Princess.
Princess said that Karma's has an answer to his, but you can still cover it. Does it?
Does that mean that it's available just to be answered without them being here for some reason? Do they always check back on the streams or something? Or is Karma a specific person within the chat that I'm not realizing is Karma?
No, Karma is a person at bss.studio.
Mm-hmm. Right. They posted their own topic. So are they maybe have a different name inside of YouTube and they're currently present? Could be a thing. Oh, okay. Princess says, nope, but you can read the topic if you like. Interesting. Okay. All right. I don't know. Read the topic, she says. Well, the thing is, reading the topic is, I mean, it's not like I can just read it in an instant. I mean, it takes It's
Okay,
it's
I
that
think it's because
weird.
Karma said on there that things turned out faster than I thought. The situation mentioned above is over, but I'm sure
Mm,
someone else might need it, so the topic isn't too bad to consider. Um,
mm.
didn't really find any solution. Things just kind of broke off. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, so it looks like we can handle it.
It seems like Princess is pushing us in that direction, so let's do it.
She is. Princess, it's
Um,
wonderful to have your guidingness.
guidance and insight. Yeah. Um, cool.
And as Aaron is formulating some more of his stuff here.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So because they broke up, and
Hmm. Yeah, so
yeah.
he's refixing some of it, which is cool. I appreciate that, Aaron. You're awesome.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. So, all right, let's get going on karmas then.
Okay.
Thanks for patience, everybody. All right, so this is karma. The topic is called "How Far Should I Go?" It reads as this: I have been wanting to date a girl I've known for a while now. She seems like a very nice girl, and having the opportunity to be with her romantically is something I would cherish. Despite this, I don't know very much about her other than a couple of certain things, but they don't add up to a lot at this point. Lately, it seems to me that she's finally giving me the time of day on this sort of thing, so I let her know that I'm into her and want to date her. That was almost a week ago, and nothing has gone wrong since, except for one thing. The issue is that I'm totally into her, but she's not into me, according to her. But the way she acts makes me think she does. Other people know about the situation and say that she's using me in some way or another. She acts like she's at least slightly into me in person, but at other times it almost seems like she's being cold to me. I don't know how I should address this issue. Should I keep on giving her my attention and love and hope that one day she actually wants to be with me? Or should I stop trying in case she's just playing with my emotions and I get hurt in the future in some way? I also can't help but think she has some deep rooted pain or issue that justifies the situation. Because from what I do know about her, this may be possible, but there's no way for me to be sure. Thanks for your help. It continues on a different post saying this: things turned around faster than I thought. That situation mentioned above is over. I'm sure someone else might need it, so the topic isn't too bad to consider. I didn't really find any solution. Things just kind of broke off. I tend to have bad luck on these sort of things, but we're still moving, so it's cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, Karma.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
maybe they're here lurking, maybe they're not. Either way, it's all good. Um, but yeah, um, it's cool that people can share these type of issues with us. So we appreciate that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Joe has to say about this sort of thing. I think we've all been through some similar type of things in life.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Yep,
what?
I've absolutely been in this type of situation. And it's interesting because I've been through this type of situation while being married.
Mm,
You know, having this kind of game going on in marriage, which is kind of adds a whole other dimension onto it too, because then you're playing this little relationship game, and you're married to the person, so it's like, you know what's going on. So but anyway, here's kind of the way I look at this. Yes, when we are into someone, when we have romantic feelings towards somebody, sometimes it's hard to kind of keep those back. It's easy to kind of let ourselves, show our cards, I suppose, and be into them, and just everybody knows we're into them and they know we're into them and all that kind of stuff. One of the things that generally tends to happen is, when in fact, at least it's always happened with me, whenever I've shown that I'm into someone or trying to, get closer to them or whatever, it almost seems like they distance themselves.
Mhm.
It's like this really weird thing. Like the more I try, the farther away they want to be. Or the more I show my feelings, the more, distant they feel or cold they are or whatever. And in this case, people have said that possibly this person was using you for something, or to some degree, and that's definitely possible. I've been through that before too. And yeah, like, people just, they'll do what they can to get what they want, I suppose. And using other people is, we're all capable of that. So in any case, it's not really healthy for either of you to have that type of a dynamic, because it really just is going to lead to being hurt. Interestingly enough, something that attracts people is to distance yourself from them. So I wonder if some of your draw to this person was the fact that she was distancing herself from you. Because the more something goes away from us, it's almost like the more we crave it. It's kind of like that law of supply and demand, that we all kind of have built into us. The more scarce something is, the more valuable it is to us. And so, like, the less we have of something, the more we want it. And that can be the case with people too. The more people move away from us, the more we want to be close to them. And it's really, really, it's interesting. One of the things that kind of helped, because like I said, I dealt with this in my marriage, and there was a time period where we were going through some challenges, and I was just trying to do everything I could to make her happy. I was doing everything I possibly could think of. I was like, okay, what have I gotten indicators that made her happy before? And I would try and do that thing. And you know what? She wasn't happy about it. And then I would think some more, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try this thing because this made her happy years ago, and maybe this will work. And that didn't work either. And the more I tried, the harder it got. So finally, I realized, I don't know if I read this somewhere or if I heard it somewhere in a talk that I was listening to, but here's the fact. The fact of the matter is, it's not my job to make her happy. And it's not her job to make me happy. And in your case, Karma, it's not your job to make her happy. It's not her job to make you happy. That's between us, and for me, that's between me and God. That's my happiness will come from that. It's really a choice. And it's up to every single one of us. Our happiness is our own responsibility. It's nobody else's. And when I realized that it's not my job to make her happy, and in fact, me trying to make her happy seemed to be making her unhappy, I was like, oh my gosh. When I realized all this and I was like, okay, it's not my job to make her happy, that was so liberating. I felt so free when I learned that, because then I was like, oh, if she's not happy, then that's not really my fault. That's really her choice. And I can just, do what I can to do the right thing. And interestingly enough, when I started to live that with that perspective, where I was like, hey, it's not my job to make you happy. You can decide to be happy or not. Hey, it's up to you. For me, I'd just rather be happy because it's a choice. And that's what I choose. So when I started to live that way and started to not try so hard, I noticed it started to draw her closer. which seemed really weird. And then I would, and then I would go back and I'd try harder and then it didn't work and I'd flop and then she would distance herself some more. And so then I'd be, oh, wait, it's not my job to make her happy. And so then I'd start living that again. And then, things would get better. And so I'm starting to learn this process of, what? Her feelings are her decision. And my job is to love her and to accept her no matter what. So if she's upset, I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to be, I'm going to still love her. I'm still going to be friendly to her. I'm still going to, maybe I'll say, are you okay? Do you need a vent or something? Is there something I can do to help or what? But apart from that, I'm going to let her be responsible for her own feelings rather than me trying to, make her happy, which really, when you boil it down, it was almost like a form of manipulation that I was doing. I'm like, I'm going to make her happy. And then she naturally rejected that because she's like, wait, you're just trying to change who I am or something. I'm not happy right now. And you're trying to make me happy. What the heck? So, anyway, hopefully that can help somebody because so much of our lives, it seems like, at least for me, I was trying to make other people happy. I was trying to please others. I was trying to, you know, make them think better of me or think better of themselves or whatever. And really, it's their responsibility. And when you realize that, it's so liberating. Now, sometimes people come and ask you questions and you want to help. Absolutely. And that's, that's kind of what we do on this show too. We want to steer people in the right direction, but at the same time, we aren't responsible for anybody's feelings. you know we can offer some perspective and hopefully that opens up a door to a different way of thinking, but it's really every person's choice whether to accept it or reject it or or choose their own adventure, I guess. So that's
Choose-
about what I have for now. So
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you got?
Oh yeah. Thanks, Joe. And yeah, that's so true. I think there's so much going on in the the mental psyche of a person. There's so much going on in people's heads that we don't even know ourselves.
Hmm.
Like we're running the course in our head and we have all of these emotions and we don't understand why and all of these things. And it's a really fascinating subject when it comes to relationships in this way. Why we chase after what is oftentimes the thing that's running away from us. And we were like, no, but I want to make you happy, and so we start chasing it even harder, right? And that causes our emotions to be raised even more and fall more deeply in love with the person because now we want them even more. I think we find that a lot of times when we're focused on a specific individual and we're like, um, really trying to affect them or try to be around them. And the more we try, and they distance themselves. And I think it's not that they're distancing themselves because they don't want to be around us. I bet you it's our minds playing a trick on us
Hmm.
because I've been through that situation. And as I look back, I'm like, wait a minute. What if that was just me seeing it differently than it really was? Because before I knew the person, I didn't spend any time with them. Now that I got to finally get to know them a little bit and spend some time with them, now it feels like they're distancing themselves from me. But that's not true because really I didn't get a whole lot of time before with them anyways. So in reality, they're just being normal. And I feel like because I want them so badly, I feel like they're trying to run away from me because I have to chase so hard to get it. Um, and that could be a lot of times what it really is. It's not necessarily that people are intentionally distancing themselves from us when we try to get closer to them. It's more likely often that they are just being themselves and they're not really interested in us. So they appear to us to be running away when really they're just standing still. Um, that type of thing. I really like what Keaton said. Um, She always has really wonderful things to say.
Mhm.
Um, and she said, our positive nature, our confidence in ourselves will bring joy to those around us. The brighter you shine, the more you will see the light of those around you." Um, that is so true. A lot of times, if you just work on being the best you can be, that attracts people towards you.
Mhm.
Um, I found in my life, the more I'm not looking for a relationship, the more everybody seems to want to be in a relationship with me. Um,
Mhm.
the more that I'm like in need of a relationship where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a friend or I need somebody that I can feel romantic with or whatever. If I start pursuing those, that road becomes a lot more difficult. And I think that's a multiple reasons. It could be again your mind playing tricks on you, um, because now you're actually trying to focus on something, so it seems harder and less
Mhm.
natural. But also because you're not as attractive to people when you are when they look at you and they see this person needs me to be all right. People don't like that. Most people. Some people really like that, but most people, um, if they look at you and they say, "Oh wow, this person needs me in order to be happy, or needs this in their life in order to be happy," that's a lot of weight on me, and it's really unattractive. But what is most attractive a lot of times when we look at somebody is somebody who has themselves pulled together. They don't need you. You're not you're not something that they require for their happiness. You're just an you're just a friend, or you're just a person that they love and can cherish and be strong on their own. A lot of times we want to be able to depend on people. How do we depend on people who are chasing after us? That makes it feel like they are depending on us. So there's a lot there going on, and I think the best thing you can do in forming a relationship with somebody is find out how to be strong on your own. And I don't mean you have to be completely independent. And I don't mean to say you have to be able to push people away, of course. I think it's just important to be able to be someone that they can rely on. That's a lot of times there's this stereotype that the bad boys get all the girls. Um, but we understand. I think a lot of us understand that's because they have such great confidence.
Mhm.
Um, they a lot of time are perhaps egotistical or just sure of themselves or really prideful. There's a lot of bad stuff incorporated in that, but they have some good stuff too, like the self confidence. That's attractive. And so when it comes to, forming relationships with people, I think showing that confidence um, is one of the best things you can do. And if you don't have that confidence, like that's totally acceptable. I mean, lots of people don't have that confidence. I think you just have to work at it. If you don't have that confidence, go out there and achieve that confidence. How do you get confidence in relationships and dealing with people? You deal with people. You go
Mhm.
out there. Sometimes you go out there and you purposefully make a fool of yourself. That's how you get confidence. Because, like, seriously, go out there, do something embarrassing on purpose and let people laugh at you and find joy in that. Laugh with them because that's the road to confidence. Understanding that you won't do everything perfect. See, confidence isn't knowing that you're going to do something perfectly. Confidence isn't knowing that, oh, it's, you know, it's going to be easy. Confidence is knowing you'll follow through. Confidence is knowing that at the end of the day, everything's all right and that
Mhm.
you're all right and you can decide your attitude. Confidence is not necessarily about the reward, but your understanding of yourself going through the process. Um, and knowing that throughout the process of whatever you're doing, that you can handle it. And here's the thing, pretty much in everything in life, you can handle it. Like, are you still alive? Yeah, you are. You're alive. You're doing all right, you know?
Mhm.
And so I think that a lot of things. require confidence, and I think relationships do a lot as well. So, yeah, it's just some interesting perspectives and thoughts on the topic. I don't really have a whole lot to say, especially since the issue is already solved. I suppose. I think that a lot of times these issues do solve themselves. They just work themselves out, and it's like, oh, okay, so it's just not meant to be. So I'm gonna move on, which is good. You don't want to be caught in that situation where you're like, no, I really need this thing, when it's not up to you. It's a relationship. It's an effort of two people, and the best you can ever do in that relationship is to love them and respect them and allow them to make their own choices when it comes to things like that. Um, so I think, yeah, that's about all I got. Do you have
Mhm.
anything you want to add on to that, Joe?
Well, I love what you said about, you were talking about how confidence is attractive. And one of the things that builds confidence is, becoming a better and better version of yourself. Like the more you try to grow who you are and try to root out your bad habits and try to create good habits and do the right thing even when it's hard, and the more you do those things, the more your confidence builds, because you're like, hey, I'm better than I was yesterday. And that's really that every single one of us, that's kind of what we should all be looking at, and be saying, am I better today than I was yesterday? Am I better now than I was a week ago? Am I doing better things now than I used to? And that will build confidence in you if you're growing, because then you're like, oh, you know what? I am better. I used to do this. Now I do this instead. And this is a better habit than that. And so, yeah. And that builds some confidence in you. And not only that, but, you know, if the goal is just to attract other people, then, it's probably not going to work as well.
Mm.
But if the goal is to truly be a better person so that you have more to give to the world and to all these people that you love, because that's what it's about, really. When we make ourselves better, we can serve others better, and that makes the world a better place when we can do more things for other people. And when you are on that road, that builds a tremendous amount of confidence. And you're still going to have days where you mess up and you don't maybe do your best, and who knows. I mean, for all of us that comes.
Hmm.
But if you're on the consistent grow, then your confidence will just go
Hmm.
up and up and up and up and up.
And how do you grow? You just face the obstacles in front of you. Take uh, each problem one step at a time, and get out there and do those things that are outside your comfort zone. Do those things that you know that you should be doing or want to do. Just actively being the person that you want to grow into, and that's not easy. You have to like I had to build myself up inside mentally before I could do those actions. Like, it's gonna be okay, let's do it. Let's, like, come on, don't you know who you are? You're static P. Okay, I used to say black static, but regardless, it's like, come on, get out there, you can do it. And I would force myself to do it. I would amp myself up inside to do those things, which now become very natural to me. Um, but in the past, I was very shy, and very, very self-conscious and about a lot of things. And so, yeah, the way you grow is getting out there and doing those things which you're afraid of, I think,
Mhm.
most of the time.
Yep. Because a lot of times, seriously, the other person is just as afraid as you, maybe more.
Mm,
I learned that kind of just today as I was doing inspections.
mm,
I I naturally, there was a house I didn't necessarily have to stop at. I just had to double check it real quick. And then I looked and there was someone in the driveway. And so I drove past it and I did another inspection and I was like, okay. And I hemmed and hawed about it. And I was like, wait a second. Because I didn't want to go and confront the person. I didn't want to talk to him because I didn't want it to end up a hostile situation or anything like that. And then I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. Who am I? I got asked today, funny thing, side note, I got asked if I was a police officer today.
wow. Nice. That's a step up. That's a new one. I've never actually been asked that one.
Yeah,
Well, they
yeah.
wouldn't ask that to a guy with long hair, but still.
Probably not, right, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, "I look like a police officer."
Wow.
They're gonna be like, "Whoa," they're gonna be intimidated by me at first until they hear me talk, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's a big softy," you know?
Mm,
But but I was like, "What do I have to be afraid of? I've handled just about every hostile situation there is, you know? And, so nothing that they do or say is probably gonna be much of a surprise."
sure.
So there really is nothing to be afraid of, but the fear still exists.
Mhm.
Interestingly enough, fear, I've noticed that fear, the feeling of fear, is a lot like an adrenaline rush. And I like adrenaline rushes. I like roller coasters and all that kind of stuff. I love stuff like that. What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I should like fear then because it feels the same in my body.
Mhm.
But anyway, I've sidebarred. But really, the whole point of that whole thing was, if you can live with virtue, if you can do the right thing, try to do the right thing for others, and your conscience will be your guide most of the time if it's well formed.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
if
Winter
you can live
says,
with virtue, then you're good.
"What gives me confidence is thinking to myself, if my intentions are good, I have nothing to worry about." And I think that's very true. Intentions are one of the most important parts about any of our actions, um, in our day-to-day life, and I think that for sure, if your intentions are good, you don't have a whole lot to worry about there. Um, so
Yep.
yeah.
Well, I
Alright.
really appreciate it, Karma. If you're listening, thank you for
Yeah.
posting, and thanks for even though the situation was over, thanks for giving us the go ahead to talk about it anyway,
Mhm.
because it is a good topic for anybody,
Sure,
because
yeah.
a lot of us go through that.
Yep. Oops. I think I just did something. There we go. Alright. Um, hey, Ron, did you end up, fixing your thing? Are we good to go? Or, or would you, rather not? Um, or
Aaron,
are you still messing with it?
where did it go? Did it go to the
Eh,
next page?
no, press controls,
Yeah. Oh,
well,
topic redo. He's got a topic redo up here. Haha. At the very
topic.
top.
Oh, there's a new topic
Yeah.
entirely?
New
Aha.
topic at the top. It's at the top topic.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Post a link to it because this is what we're going to do next.
Awesome.
It's fixed.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. You're awesome.
Kaboom, boom, boom.
All right. Topic redo is the name of this topic. All right. This is from Aaron. It says this. Hi. Scrapped the other one, so here's a new one. Hey, my name is Michael, but I call myself Aaron or Aaron. I don't know. My girlfriend Juliet broke up with me last Monday, and literally the day after, she started dating one of my best friends. Turns out she started liking him about a week before we broke up. This has made me more than a little depressed, and this situation has caused many other people to leave. I still have feelings for her for some reason. I don't know what to do. Any advice? Yeah, that's definitely hard. It plays with your emotions a lot, and it feels really tragic and terrible to be in that situation. Um,
Mhm.
to It feels like you kind of just getting replaced, you're worthless, and that sort of thing. And so we just want to reach out to you and let you know, like, you're amazing, Aaron, and even if people leave you for other people, that says nothing about you. It's everything about them. So, um, You're awesome. Thanks for sharing this with us. I know it's a sensitive subject, so we appreciate that. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna give it to Joe.
Okay. Well, just for clarification, I think was this an online relationship or an
Hmm.
IRL relationship? I
If
guess even it's all in real life anyway because we're dealing with real feelings and real people.
but
Um,
yeah, is it a long distance relationship, or was this someone that you knew from school, or something along those
it's
lines?
online, so
Okay.
I'm assuming it's kind of like in like like you're on a server together with her, and then a lot of the people, because of the situation that they saw unfold on the server, a lot of people started leaving the server. Is that kind of what's happening?
You said caused a lot of other people to leave. It's interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Leave you or just,
Yes.
I'm guessing. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, anytime this kind of thing happens, people do leave. We've seen it happen a lot of times. I've seen it happen in business, where when there's some kind of a relationship, you know, weird thing going on in a business, a lot of the customers and clients will leave. They will stop frequenting that place because of some weird shenanigans that happen with the relationship inside the company itself. It happens all over the place because relationships. There was a talk I heard one time where a guy said, "I guarantee you, if you list off your top 5 hurts in your life right now, at least one of them is a relationship issue, and probably one of the top ones. Probably like number 1 or number 2 is a relationship problem." And because relationship problems, man, they cause so much hurt in us when we deal with that kind of stuff. And so Keaton said something wonderful, where she said, "Feelings don't just go away." I think that's what she said. Oh, feelings don't just disappear. So don't fault yourself for not being able to just let go. And that is so wise because you may still have some kind of feeling for her years from now. Now, time is going to heal the pain, over time as you go through the recovery process. You know, it's okay to mourn something that was good, the loss of something good. It's okay to
Hmm.
feel that sense of loss and to feel sad, and to cry, because that kind of can close the situation, to experience those problems. Um, a great kids movie that goes through this is the movie Inside Out, where they go through a lot of the different emotions and stuff, and they talk about the importance. Towards the end, you learn the importance of sadness, and how sadness is a healing emotion. It's really true. As much as it hurts to be sad, as much as it hurts to feel that pain, it's part of the healing process. And that's what you're doing here, is you're healing from this situation. The thing that happened was a big break. It was a big damaging thing in our relational fabric, if you will. And the sadness you're feeling, the pain you're feeling, is part of the healing process. So it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to, you know, feel unmotivated, because that's part of your spirit healing. To really kick that healing up another notch will require forgiveness. We haven't said it for a while in this show, but we used to say it all the time, that the path to healing is through forgiveness.
That's true.
Because really, as long as you don't allow yourself to forgive, the wound is still open. Forgiveness actually closes the wound off completely. And while there still may be some pain involved, you will heal so much faster. And I can remember going through, the process of thinking about some of my past hurts that I'd been holding grudges. And just holding those grudges created all kinds of bad habits. I had built up walls in my around my heart, so I wouldn't allow people in, and it caused separation between me and people I cared about. There was all kinds of craziness, and it led to habitual, just issues. And when I went back and I started to forgive those people and let go, I didn't have to forgive them to their face, but I had to do it in my heart. Where I was like, I thought about the situation, I kind of relived the experience, and I said, I forgive you. And that forgiveness, just talking about it right now, makes me remember the feeling of freedom. I'm all about freedom today, I guess. But it was so liberating, because then I was like, oh, now I don't need this wall anymore. I don't need these walls anymore, because that hurt is gone. And now it's healing. And just doing that, going through that forgiveness process was so powerful. And this situation right here is really damaging, because you had a close relationship with someone you loved, and you had a best friend that was involved here. And the girl you loved left you for the person who was your best friend. And I wish I could say that that was an uncommon thing. But from my experience, I've seen a lot of people go through that same exact thing where, their wife or their girlfriend left them for their best friend.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's kind of like a double whammy, because then the person that, you're like, oh, I just lost my wife or my girlfriend, and the person that I would go to is the person they went to.
Uh,
And so then it's like, oh my gosh, so now what do I do? Because you're right. And I see some of your things. I say, Aaron says, yesterday I was so angry, like my blood was boiling. No clue why, I just was. It's because of this deep wound, I would imagine. Your emotions can go through crazy stuff because you've been wounded. Oh, this is interesting. And then Aaron goes on and says, I didn't care as long as she was happy, but then they decided to ridicule me for my mistakes. So that's very interesting. Was this in the forum or whatever that you were a part of, that they were ridiculing you, that they were saying bad things about you to the rest of the group? Because that could be a big indicator of why a whole bunch of people left, if there's that kind of drama going on. But okay, it was a Discord group chat. Okay. Yeah. Personally, if I was witness to that, I would probably leave as well, or at least want to. I might say something like, really? Like, you're gonna say that?
really? Thanks. Yeah. Like I wasn't hurting already. Thanks, guys.
Or if I was just like a bystander person, if I wasn't involved in the relational situation, but I was just watching it unfold, I might be like,
Mm.
seriously? Like, I don't think you have a leg to stand on there. Like, but yeah, but they blocked me, and only me. Okay. Wow. What a situation. Aaron, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And wow, it might take you a while to heal from this, and that's okay. It's okay to have the emotional roller coaster. It's okay to feel that stuff. It gives you evidence that you're in fact alive. Even the numbness that can result it can be a response to this type of thing. And I'll tell you, the closer you can get to forgiveness, the better you will feel long term. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and see what he has to say.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, totally. Forgiveness is super healing, super um, useful when it comes to getting over issues, experiencing that inner growth, inner healing, and coming to a peace or coming to a rest on issues. Even ones like Joe was talking about that were in the past, like 20 years ago or something. It's like all of a sudden you think about it and you forgive those people, and the issues start to clear up. Bad habits start to go away, and it's like, wow, that's crazy.
Hmm.
So forgiveness is really important, really special. Um, it's a gift that we can do and act out. But yeah, continuing on. Um, you know, Aaron, I don't really know you like super well, but I have talked to you quite a few times, and you're the kind of guy that has a big heart and a lot of good intentions. Um, so if people are ridiculing you for the things that you've done, I'm gonna say that I am positive that even if maybe you made mistakes, your intentions were good. You never had bad intentions. In fact, it tells me a lot when you say, you just want her to be happy, even if she's not with you. You don't care, but you just want her to be happy, and that's cool. That's really beautiful. It hurts, but yeah, you still want her to be happy, and I think that that says a lot about who you are inside. There's people out there who go through this type of stuff, go through these situations, and they become hateful, and they say, "I want her to be unhappy."
Hmm.
It's terrible. In life, sometimes you're going to do all of the right things, and it's going to be painful.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're going to have the best intentions in the world, and people are going to assume that you have uh, evil intentions. Sometimes you're going to be nice to people, and people will accuse you of trying to get something out of them. But as Mother Teresa says in her "Anyway" uh, poem, if you want to call it that, um, which I would encourage you to read. Um, in fact, maybe I'll post a link here. It's called "Anyway" by Mother Teresa. Yeah, here we go. Why don't I just read it out loud? All right. It says this. Um, People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyways. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyways. I guess it says anyway, it doesn't have an S, whatever. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway.
Hmm.
And I think that's, so true. Um, because, yeah, no one can keep score on you. And you've got a good heart, man. So, anytime I've talked to you, you've been reaching out, trying to help other people. Um, and so if people ridicule you, if people are saying bad things about you, I mean, it stinks. It stinks that you're losing those friendships, but it also is a situation where it's actually really good. What I mean by that is now, in the face of drama, your friends have revealed themselves to be your enemy. that their intentions with you might not be so good. Maybe they are. Maybe they got caught up in the moment and they assumed things that were wrong about you. Maybe they assumed like that, you know, y- I don't know. I don't know how they ridiculed you, but maybe they assumed things and they're just incorrect. And if you told them like, hey, that's not how it was, then they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to. But if they're just kind of the people that are attracted and enjoy building up that drama and escalating it, that's not really good company. And you can take this as an opportunity to say, you know what? I can find better people in life. I can find, yeah, you said they already blocked you. So, well, there you go. There's your opportunity. Um, you know, when you are a good person, evil will often reveal itself to you by attacking you.
Mhm.
That is the truth. And in this case, I think to me, that's clearly what has happened. Um, so it's not that those people are purely evil. No one is completely evil. Um, and they might even had good intentions with wrong understanding about what it means to be a good person. Um, but I think forgiveness is super important in this situation. Yeah, no one's completely good either. Exactly. We're all human. We're a mixture of both, and it's good that some people try very hard to be good people, despite that they know that they'll never be perfect. I think it's the intention, the desire is good. Um, and some people don't care, and they've given up on the idea, and that's not very good um, because they treat people poorly, and um, yeah. But anyhow, regardless of that, I think in this situation, I think the best thing you can do is just basically what Joe was advising. Forgive those people. They probably were trying to do good things. I think for me, one of the important things that helps me through situations like this emotionally is to reason with my enemy, you could say, in my head. And what I mean by that is go through whatever happened, whatever the scenario was, and answer, why did they do this? What was the reason they did this? Why did they say that? What was their intention? And how could their intention be good and be saying that at the same time? Because a lot of times that is the case. Sometimes people get really angry and they do terrible things, but that anger was a response to something that they felt was right and justified. A lot of times for me, what helps me most emotionally is to go through that and be like, okay, so my girlfriend left me and she left me for my best friend. She probably liked him before she left me, and she probably left me because she liked him. It doesn't mean she didn't like me too, but more so that her emotions compelled her to do something.
Mm.
Let me tell you, when you get married, those emotions don't just go away. You can find yourself being attracted to people that are not your wife or
Mhm.
husband. You can go through life and all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, I met this girl. We've been hanging out recently and I really, really, really like her. But I'm married. This isn't okay. Right.
Mhm.
And that's basically what happened to her, except for she's not married yet. Right. You didn't put a ring. Yeah. You didn't put a ring on it. If you liked it, you should have put a ring on it. If you liked it, you should have put a ring on it. If you
Whoa,
liked
whoa,
it, put
whoa.
a,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
wait, how many times
Whoa,
to say
whoa.
it? Whoa, whoa,
Whoa,
whoa, whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
whoa.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, yeah, sorry to everybody that had to hear that. I actually don't like that song either. No, some people do like that song, so it's fine. It's just personal taste. But anyhow, no, in life you have emotional spurts. Just like you're feeling anger now, that anger will subside. Just like you feel sadness, that sadness will slowly dissipate and disappear. And just like we get emotionally attached to certain people, those emotions fade with time. And sometimes we get those emotions for other people. And it has nothing to do with how well we performed in our relationship, how well we treated them, or our actions, or our words, or our thoughts, or anything. And it's just how our emotions and reactions go. You know, sometime in life, you're going to discover something new and you're going to be really into it, whether that be sewing or some kind of sport. You're going to try something out and you're going to be like, wow, this is actually really fun. I'm surprised I never even heard of this before. This is so much, this is great. And that's kind of what we do with people sometimes. We meet somebody new and we're like, wow, this person's really great. This person's fascinating. I really enjoy being around them. Like, this is, and then your emotions get caught up into it. And all of a sudden, you find yourself romantically involved with the person.
Mm.
Um, and all of a sudden, the person you're already romantically in a relationship with, your emotions start to become a traitor to that relationship. They become a tyrant. And you have to tell your emotions, like, hey, don't be a tyrant to my relationship. Like, my relationship is what I'm dedicated to. My emotions are not a part of it. My emotions are just a reaction to whatever's going, whatever's happening around me. you know? So I think most people don't know that. In fact, I would say like 99% of people don't know that. They think love is an emotion. And so, oh, I don't feel that emotion towards that person anymore. I guess I just don't love them. Well, the reality is, no, love is desiring the best for another person.
Mm.
And if you still do that, then you honestly still love them. But love is also a choice.
Mhm.
How are you going to how are you going to proceed knowing that your emotions aren't on your side, knowing that your desires aren't for that person? You know, even like when, especially when you're married, I don't want to do the dishes. No one wants to do the dishes. But you know what? It'll make it on easier on my spouse if I go and do the dishes, because then they don't have to. That's really nice of you.
Mhm.
Going out of your way for the other person. That's very kind. And that's a part of love. And it's because you don't want to do something that you show your love a lot of times. It's experiencing that pain that you can prove that you loved them. And in you saying, I just want them to be happy, and yet you are the one in pain, that shows that you love them, because you're willing to go through pain and yet still have a desire for their greater good, for their happiness. And I think that is super important. So I hope you can put these sorrowful emotions to rest. It's okay, like Joe said, to cry. It's okay to let them out for a while. And then forgive. Forgive everybody in this process. Forgive
Mhm.
her. Forgive yourself. Forgive your friends,
Mhm.
and come to a peace. And then you know what's going to happen? You're going to grow from that situation. You're going to learn a whole lot about life, a lot about relationships, a lot about treating people, a lot about how to handle people. And you're going to become a stronger, more courageous, more amazing person because of it. So you say you don't know if you can forgive yourself, though. Yep, that's one of the hardest ones.
That
Yourself
is
is
that
one of the
is.
hardest people to forgive, but you can do it. Don't. Here's the thing. It's good, Aaron. It's good that you're holding the bar high on yourself. It's good you say, you know what? I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. That was terrible. You're right. You're right. It's important to hold that bar high on yourself, but you have to love yourself above that bar. You have to remember that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get the wrong idea sometimes. You're human. But you know what? You can still love yourself. You can still want the best for yourself despite doing the wrong things sometimes. And I think that's super important. And you need to forgive yourself in that love and say, you know what? In order to move on from this situation where I've done something wrong, I'm going to have to let myself go and be okay with myself, so that I'm not in conflict with myself when I'm trying to move forward in the future. Because here's what's going to happen: if you don't forgive yourself, you're just going to nag on yourself. Anytime you feel like, hey, maybe I can grow in this area, you're going to be like, yeah, but you won't, because you never do. Because I'm here nagging at you because I haven't forgiven you yet for the last time you made a mistake.
Mm.
And I'm not going to give you a chance to grow or become better in this area. You're doing that to yourself. You wouldn't do that to your friends. Don't do it to yourself.
Mhm.
You are in a relationship with yourself, and you need to make sure that relationship is is good and solid. Because at the end of the day, the only person you can rely on other than God is yourself.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, yeah, you can rely on your friends for sure. Good friends. I got friends like Joe Anderson here,
Mhm.
who I know I can, at the end of the day, count on for anything. Trust him with my life. But most people don't have that. And you know what? He doesn't determine whether I'm happy with myself. He doesn't get to decide whether I forgive myself at the end of the day. He's not the one in my head going, yeah, but you failed at that before, so why are you going to try it? He doesn't do that to me because he's a good friend. I'm not going to do that to myself either. So you have to make sure you have yourself under control, and you are supportive of yourself and loving on yourself, wanting the best for yourself so that you can forgive yourself, so that you can move forward. Um, but yeah. Yeah, you thought I thought I could count on my friends. Yeah. That's that's all right.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so that's a whole nother group of people that you can learn how to forgive as well.
Mhm.
And, so like Ryan was saying, everybody involved, as you go through the situation, and you can forgive every single person. I remember there in a defining moment that I had to go back and forgive others for. There was a person that was perpetrating the incident, and then there was a person who was a good friend of mine who was allowing it to happen, kind of going along with it a little bit, but not like the main person, but just there,
Mhm. That hurt.
and yeah, and it was like, and so not only did I have to forgive the person that did it, I also had to forgive my friend for not stepping in and defending me and all that. You know, I had to forgive myself for making the mistake. And this there have been things that I had to go back 15, 20 years, 25, 30 even. And these things were things that I had not dealt with, and they were still causing problems in my life 30 years later. And so it's like sometimes that emotional pain, if it sits there and it's unresolved like that, if we don't like take care of it, it can cause us to go down paths that can still affect us,
Mhm.
30 years later. And
Mhm.
there's one incident that for a while it kept coming back, even recently, that there was nobody else involved but me, and I had to forgive myself. And I was like, that was the hardest one, like you were saying. I still look like I am in my 20s. I'm 29.
Again? Again, Joe?
Again. We're gonna do this all over again.
When I ain't going over 9,000. Over 9,000.
Oh, over 9,000. Ah. Um, no, the thing is you're right. You don't know if you can forgive yourself. I didn't know if I could forgive myself. That's the hardest person to forgive. And even still, even after I go through the exercise and forgive myself, the thing still pops up in my mind. The incident, it still pops up, and I'm made to feel somewhat guilty. And I'm like, I can't do anything about this
Yeah.
anymore.
I can't, like, I've grown and I've learned my lesson. I can't do anything about the past. I
Right?
can't
I
fix
can't.
whatever happened happened. Like, I've learned, but I still can't change it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how you need to forgive. Yeah.
Yep. So I'll tell you, but forgiveness will be that salve that you can, you know, smooth over the wound and will cause the great healing to happen. And it might take more times than one to forgive yourself and forgive other people. You might find other things that you were upset about. And then comes the 3-word statement: can't change it. After you go through the process of the emotions, and you go through the process of forgiveness and saying, okay, I forgive this person for this and all that kind of stuff, and then at some point when you get through all that, you got to remember those words: can't change it. That means, you know what? It happened in the past. I can't change it. I can't go back in time and fix it. All I can do is move forward. And what's the best way I can move forward? And then you can start to analyze the best way to move forward. And then what you find is you're looking towards the future, which is a lot more exciting because you're not looking at this past thing that happened that really hurt really bad. You're looking toward a future and you're saying to yourself, how can I make the future better? How can I avoid this in the future? How can I move forward from this as a stronger person? And as you go in that direction, what you're going to find is you will feel empowered, you will feel more free, you will feel lighter, and it'll be great. And you'll be like, okay, it's so interesting because I've noticed this in myself where 1 minute I'll be like totally just upset and maybe mad or frustrated or concerned about something. And then all of a sudden, like I'll do this little thing. I might say to myself, well, I can't change it because it was something that happened that led me to this point and now it's over. I can't do anything about it now. And once I say that, and I'm like, okay, I can't change it. What can I do to fix the future? And then my brain starts thinking productively and my whole demeanor changes. Instead of being dejected and frustrated and upset, I'm hopeful and motivated to do something different. And like all that changes, and it's just a simple thought that changed the whole thing. So I can't change the incident, but I can change my thoughts. And that is where your real power lies.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Thanks for the topic. It's a really good one, and
mhm.
we hope that can be helpful. We understand, you're still gonna feel that sorrow. That's all right. But yeah, you can get through it, man. You got this. Thank you so much, Michael, and or a Ron. Um, and you said for some reason my right headphone only works for bass, and my left is opposite. I would say your connection at the jack is that the jack is this little thing right here. This little thing, yeah, that might not be secured correctly. I don't know. That's my best guess there.
Hmm.
That can happen, or it's something to do with your headphones in the cord is slightly broken. Either way, I don't know. That seems weird. I hope it does it for your PC as well. Oh, so it's probably your headphones.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I do
yeah.
appreciate you, Aaron, saying that I look like I'm in my 20s. Thank you for that. But it's the magic of Hollywood
Ooh, Hollywood.
because it's the camera
Mm-hmm. Cameraman so
and
much.
my camera shenanigans.
Ooh, shenanigans. Yeah. No,
I like shenanigans.
yeah, I had a girlfriend who was always taking pictures of herself in a specific way. She's like, I always got to take it from like this angle because it makes me look skinnier. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, all right. She's like, let me show you. I'll take it from like straight on versus like up here and to the right a little bit. You tell me which one do I look skinnier in? And I'm like, okay. I mean, you're right, but that's all right. It's like, he's like, no, don't give me from that angle. Hold on, let me move over here. All right, get now you can take a picture. It's like, wow. Camera shenanigans. Anyhow, yeah, thanks, Eric. You're awesome. And yeah, hope this goes quick and easy for you. And you'll make more friends. You'll make new friends and better
Mhm.
friends, um, for sure. We welcome you to, obviously, if you haven't already, join our Discord server. There's people on there. Maybe they'll be your friend, and there's definitely our website. We've got a lot of awesome people there. So yeah, this one actually took an hour. They always take an hour. Um,
Not necessarily. Sometimes
yeah, yeah.
it takes that to unpack it. It's okay.
Yeah. Sometimes
That's
a lot to talk about, and it's we like
hmm
we like to talk a lot. Actually, I think that's it. Um, first one was like 8 minutes. No, it wasn't.
that was not.
Don't don't even. Uh,
Well, One thing that's cool though is like on that one we didn't have further expansion from Karma. On this one we had further developments of the story
Yeah,
to
that's true.
to go through, and that's good because when we have that back and forth, we can then we can make adjustments. We can go through and handle specific things. We can go down rabbit trails and stuff. That's totally cool because then
Yeah.
we can really handle the issue, on a much grander scale, if you will, and
Mm,
get into the specifics.
more precise.
Yes, we can get
Cool.
into the Pacifics.
Pacifics, oceans. Um, yeah. So, anyways, I'm just gonna do a roll call here, real quick, I guess. Again, I'm sure
Roll call.
Winter is probably the only person that's here of these, but here we got Angel, Dead, Nox, Amira, Deku, Aaron. That's you. Actually, we just did that one, so I can cross that off the list. Nathan, Bakugo, Lover, um, Sun Ryosuke, Random, and Winter. I'm guessing that Winter of those people. If any of you are here, let us know.
Amazing 52 is here. Who's
I'm here. Everybody, I think you're just here.
Oh, I
Oh,
got
if
you. Oh, because I
you're
said roll
here,
call.
it's a topic,
Okay,
or my bad, my bad. All right, I should
perfect.
specify. Yeah,
Yes.
unless
Okay. Well, let's do Winters because Winter
yeah.
says my phone is 25% and steadily decreasing. I don't have long.
All right, welcome back, Light. All right, let's do it.
John Jacob
Okay,
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Winter. Everything is pointless is the name of this topic.
Yes. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
Let me,
yeah.
let me get to it.
I have a pit in my stomach and my heart is racing. I apologize ahead of time for my post. It's very emotional and I'm really sorry, although I still feel the same. This is probably the heaviest post I've made. Okay. Well, we love you.
Yes.
We good to go?
We're good to go.
Okay.
Good to go. You can read along. Click the link.
Winter says this. I got the last issue solved. To explain further, I never loved myself. I never felt like anyone's loved me. I emotionally manipulated people and made them fear me in order to force them to love me. I thought it was the only way. But as I continued posting and continued making more friends, I realized that I can't force myself to be worth anything to anyone but myself. But it seems I can't even make myself worth anything to me. I thought, maybe now that I know what is right and what is wrong, I can fix everything. I was wrong. Every hope, dream, and chance I had of repairing what I broke was crushed. I should have heeded people's warnings when they said, every bridge is burnt. When they said, you can't change the way people feel about you. When they said, you'll only end up hurt. When they said, the only way you'll be satisfied is if you kill yourself. Wow. I'm surprised I haven't even killed myself yet. I guess the only thing keeping me going is the very small bit of determination I still have. But even that is breaking. It feels like, oh, even that is breaking, it feels like. There's no hope for someone like me. Redemption doesn't exist in this world. It's clear by all the drama that happens all around the world. There is no room for mistake. If you aren't perfect, you must be canceled. Well, if that's the world we live in, I don't want to live in it because that's a disgusting world full of disgusting people. Perfection is a lie that I refuse to support. But my words don't matter, not even to me, because no one will listen. And how can I change the world, let alone a single person who refuses to listen? I can't. It's clear that there's no place for me in this world. I'm hopeless. The future is dependent on a present and a past, and if the present and past are telling me anything, it's that I should quit while I'm ahead. I've lost my faith in God. I don't believe in happy endings anymore. I don't know if any words will be able to change my mind about what I wish to do to myself. But if for a single moment I lose that little bit of determination I have left, there probably won't be any way for me to come back from what I'll do. Let's see. There's a continuation. Okay. Professional help hasn't seemed to help either. Nothing is working. Even the person who I spoke of in Fate and Malice, too, doesn't think I'll ever change. I've been told countless times by countless people that no one could ever love me or love someone like me. And I have to do, no, and to have someone I thought as my rescuer and who was like a motherly figure to me tell me that she doesn't think I'll change and that she refuses to speak to me feels like a knife to my heart. When I was being told that, it felt like I was losing my vision. My eyesight was fading away, like I was losing grip of everything. My worst nightmare has come true. And it's funny to think that when 2019 started, I thought it would be a better year. There you are. That's what everything Winter had posted, and it's really heavy. That's really tragic, man.
Mm.
I'm sorry. Um, definitely rough. Definitely not a fun thing to go through or experience. And a lot of this is really relatable, to be honest. Definitely, I really like your introspection here. There's a lot that you posted here that's like, yeah, that's right on. That's so true. Um, but um, I hope you don't despair. I hope you don't lose sight of hope or the good of all of things that you pointed out. There's a lot of things you pointed out in here that are like actually really good things to note and to discover in the world around you. But they're also good things. They might seem tragic or bad, but there's also good in them too. Um, but yeah, there's a lot going on here, and I hope that we can do it justice. I would hope that you have the ability to plug your phone in and charge it while you
Mhm.
listen. So, because this might be a long one, we'll find out. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to Joe.
Well, if your phone is dying, Winter, I want to make sure that I say this before that happens, and that is that we love you here. I love you.
Hmm.
And I mean, I know we've never met in person, but I've read through a lot of your posts, and so I kind of get an idea of the person you are. We've had some conversations through the chat and through here, and it and so I feel like I've gotten to know you to some degree, and I love who I've met here. And even though I know you've changed your name a couple times, and that's totally fine, you know, I understand how much this can hurt. And I want you to know that you're valuable. Just by virtue of your existence, you are infinitely valuable. No one has ever existed that's like you, and no one will ever exist again that's like you. You are 100% an anomaly, just like just all of us. We are all unique, and we exist, and that existence is a gift. Even when it's painful, even when it seems so hard, and we feel like the only answer is to take that existence and snuff it out. We feel like that would be such a better option. But it's really not. No matter what anybody says to you in other servers, some of these things that you said that people are saying, like you'll only end up hurt, or every bridge is burned, or you'll only be satisfied if you kill yourself, like that. I would question the source on some of those. I've learned to not always trust my own thinking, because I've learned that I can be off track from time to time. And so that goes to say, take whatever I say with a grain of salt, because sometimes I'm wrong. But I do want to tell you no matter what I say, I love you. And here, I hope you will always feel safe. I hope you will always feel welcome. And I hope you will always feel like you can contribute and you can be yourself, whoever you want to be. You can be who you are. And you will be loved here. And you'll be accepted for exactly who you are. Now, that being said, I do love some of the things you put in here, that all the drama that's happening. Yes, you're right. There's so much drama in the world. And one thing that there's no room for mistakes. If you aren't perfect, you must be canceled. Well, if that's the world we live in, I don't want to live in it, because it's a disgusting world full of disgusting people. Perfection is a lie that I refuse to support. That is very wise, because yes, that's not the world we live in. We don't live in a perfect world. There's imperfections everywhere. I mean, all I have to do is look at my face. There's all kinds of imperfections there.
It's perfect.
If
Perfect.
you look at Ryan's face, you might start to think the world is a perfect place. Unless he's making that face. Oh, yes. So I'm so sorry that you're feeling this despair. And what was the thing? It feels like that you're losing grip on everything. I know how that feels. I know that I've felt like that before. One thing that's great, because there have been times that I've hit rock bottom in my life. There have been times I've hit rock bottom financially. There have been times I've hit rock bottom professionally. There have been times that I hit rock bottom emotionally. There have been times I hit rock bottom relationally. In all, it seems like all aspects. Spiritually, I've hit rock bottom before. There's one great thing about being at the very, very bottom. And that's the only direction you can go from there is up. And you're like, man, this is as worse as it's ever been. This is rock bottom. And it's like, well, I guess it can't get any worse. And there was a movie, I can't even remember what it was. I saw it years ago, where they were talking, this was about finances, but they're like, hey, there have been a few times in my life where I've lost everything. It's the perfect place to start. And so all of this crumbling around you, all the people that you've lost through this situation, all the drama that you've been through that has now caused you to be in this place. One thing I would try to encourage you to do is try to look at this as a starting point. Because yeah, a whole bunch of stuff happened and it's now behind you. And now you have an opportunity to create a new life. And you can create it with people that love you. I would encourage you to create it and hang out with us, because we're going to love you. We're not always here. We're here, for these streams. But if you go to bss.studio, there's going to be people there that will love you as well. And this part of your life, I mean, you still have a lot more to go. I don't remember if you told me how old you are, but I know even at my age, I imagine that I'm older than you. Because I'm like 41. And
So
even at
you're
my age,
29.
what's that?
I thought you're 29. What the heck?
I know. Yeah, I was 29. I was 29 for a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, just turned 17. Well, happy birthday. I didn't get to say happy birthday.
No, it wasn't long
Um,
ago. Happy birthday.
yep. So, yeah, I know that this is a tough time. 17 seems like a tough age because 18 is kind of like an adulthood milestone, at least here in America. And it's like your last year of high school. There's all this kind of stuff, but and then 17 is like the year before that, so it's hard, you know. And it's all and like 20 too is hard because 21 a whole bunch of things happen as well. Like there are different laws that you can only do certain things when you're 21, and 25 is another kind of minor one. But these milestones, it's so weird because I remember the year before hitting those milestones was always a tough year because it was like the end year. Yes, 18 feels so close but so far. I just want to be there. Yeah, I understand. But at any point in your life, this is what I'm getting at. At any point in your life, no matter what's going on, you can have a starting point. I just had one like 2 days ago where I was dealing with a really, really stressful situation with one of my clients, dealing with a whole bunch of crazy nonsense from one of them. Plus, they were really late on paying me. So a whole bunch of stuff was getting turned upside down financially. And I was like, what? I was really feeling this strain, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And in the midst of that chaos, I was like, wait a second. This is a starting point. This is a rock bottom-ish situation. Now, it's not as bad as some other rock bottom points that I've hit before, but I was definitely feeling in a valley. And I was like, aha, this is a beginning point. It's not going to get much worse from here. And if it does, I can have another starting point. And that starting point always begins in your mind. You decide to take this moment and say, all right, where am I going to go from here? How am I going to turn this and make it better? Who am I going to hang out with? Who am I going to contact? Who am I going to get in touch with? And you came here, Winter, to hang out with us. And we're going to do everything we can to give as much as we can to see if we can help you realize that you're a valuable person. And going through these trials is going to form you into such an incredible person. I mean, you're already incredible to begin with, but the experiences we have that are painful, those can be decision points where we decide to move in a direction that then can define certain areas of our life that then we can impact the world in ways that we didn't even realize. And I can't wait to see it, first of all. And then second of all, I think we've probably discussed this before, but whatever you can pour some creative passion into, this time, this down time, this sad and hurtful and painful time, it's the perfect time for creativity because your emotions are real. Your emotions are they're huge, and you can just you can flood them into whatever you want to push them into. And it's a great time for that as well. So hopefully that gets you started. I want Ryan to have a chance before your phone dies. So Ryan, go for it.
Yeah. I really like what you said, Joe, about kind of starting over. I want to kind of say my own version of this. There are many times in life where it's okay to just drop everything of the past, or drop all of it. Just drop it and start moving forward.
Mhm,
Um, because definitely there are moments I think in everybody's life where it's like I've been I've been on this train for so long and it's gotten me here where I am now. And that's not a bad thing. But you're like, I this train leads to nowhere. It's just got to get off and just find a different train. Or just get off and start something new. Find a horse, go out into the wilderness, go capture a beast, do something, do something different. And it's okay to have that moment where you're just like, all right, starting new, starting fresh, right from this moment. Um, Leave all that stuff behind. Forget the past, whatever it is what it is. I learned my lessons and now I continue from here with those lessons, but starting new. Um, it's okay to do that. And it's a good thing to do from time to time because it gets us on the right track mentally, because it helps us focus that we have a whole life ahead of us,
mhm.
a whole adventure ahead of us, and that's awesome. Um, and that keeps our hopes up. We talked about this before. If we don't have hope, we don't have anything
Mhm.
because all things are created through hope. Nothing is created through despair. When you're despairing, you have no motivation, you have no determination, you have no intentions. You're just void. You're absent because that's what despair has to offer: absence, void, abyss. But hope has everything to offer. Hope offers everything. And so it's important to keep that hope. Um, and I think that what you said here kind of ties into that. And I'm just going to reread what you said because it is very, very well written. Um, you said, let's see here. There's no hope for someone like me. Redemption doesn't exist in this world. Meaning there's no way to redeem what you've done in the past or anything like that. Um, that's clear by all the drama that happens all around the world. There's no room for mistake. If you aren't perfect, you must be canceled. Well, if that's the world we live in, I don't want to live in it because it's a disgusting world full of disgusting people. Perfection is a lie that I refuse to support. Um, there's a lot of great stuff in here. One, there's no hope for someone like you. I think that's not true, at all. There's definitely hope for someone like you because there's hope for someone like me, um, and there's hope for everybody. I think there's
Even
definitely,
me,
yeah, even Joe, whose name is also CDVNL.
and I'm old.
Yeah, that's true. We're not really that old though, but you're older. But
Old.
anyways,
Jesse says, "Mm-hmm." That's because I
mm,
said I'm old. He says,
mm-hmm,
"Mm-hmm."
mm-hmm,
Oh,
mm-hmm. Um, he likes it when I pat him right on the face, right across the eyeballs. Um, so anyways, you said redemption doesn't exist in the world. In a lot of ways, it doesn't. You cannot redeem the past. The past is done. You're right. You can't fix it. You can't go back and fix it, and you can't even fix it now. What's done is done. Um, the you can't redeem it. That's true. That's true. Um, and he said that's clear by all the drama that happens all around the world. Yeah, there's constantly drama in the world. He said there's no rooms for mistakes. If you aren't perfect, you must be canceled. And I think all of that is true, except for one thing. There's one thing that was put into this world by God, and He came down. All right. Now I say you're losing your faith in God. That's fine. He came down from heaven and gave us a new commandment before He died on the cross, and He said, "Love your neighbor as yourself and forgive each other." He came down to forgive us. That is the exception to this whole, because you are right. There's no redeeming anything. There's no hope for humanity. there is there is no, I mean, perfection is a lie, and you can't even be perfect anyways, right? But people only accept you if you're perfect. You have to be perfect or you're just, except to those few people who understand forgiveness. Once you know that forgiveness is a thing, suddenly you don't need to be perfect. You just have to, I mean, your intentions matter more than your actions. You know, your past, you can't redeem it, but there is forgiveness. Forgiveness of saying, you know what? I'm going to let it go. Yeah, we can't change it. Yeah, it hurt. It hurt me a lot. But you know what? I forgive you and I love you. That's why forgiveness is important. It's why it's one of the things that we really talked a lot about in the past and apparently today. Um, Forgiveness is the thing that provides hope to humanity. Because without forgiveness, everybody wants perfection but can never get it. Everyone wants to be perfect but can never achieve it. And it's all in vain. It's all pointless. Except except when there's forgiveness. Because forgiveness understands and reasons with humanity. It comes down to our level and says, you know what? I forgive you. And I want you to keep on striving and hoping for yourself and for the rest of the world so you guys can become stronger. And yeah, grow closer to perfection. Because you know what? If you realize you can't become perfect and you just give up on it, well, you're just going to be evil. You're just going to be like, well, if I can't be perfect, I might as well just do really bad and do everything for myself and not care about anybody else and just try to reap the most out of every person I encounter and not worry about whether things are right or wrong, not worry about whether um, I'm doing everything correctly or not. I'm just gonna do whatever I can. Hey, the thing is, if you try not to do everything to the best of your ability, like if you're like, you know what, this might be the wrong way of doing it, but I'm gonna do it this way anyways. Like even for creating like Lego sets or something, right? You'll read in the directions and you're like, you know what? Uh, it's not gonna be perfect anyways, so I might as well just kind of throw the book away, tear it up, throw it in the garbage. I'm gonna try to figure out how to make it on my own. That might be fun. It's gonna come out looking totally different. And you're like, yeah, this looks like an alligator, except for it actually just looks like a house. But yeah, it's because you gave up on the idea of hope and perfection, and you just kind of threw a book away and started building your own thing, you know? Um, and that's what's gonna happen to people in life. If you give up on the idea that you have something to strive for, then you don't strive for anything, then you don't get a whole lot done. And a lot of the things that you do are in vain. They don't help anybody, they don't help yourself. And I think that's why it's important ultimately to understand that we live in a world where forgiveness exists, where we still love people and we still want the best for people and we still strive for perfection, even though we know it isn't necessarily possible to achieve because it still puts us farther ahead than if we didn't try at all.
Mm.
And it still makes us happier as human beings than if we didn't try at all. It's not a bad thing that we desire perfection. It's a very beautiful thing. But there also has to be an understanding that people make mistakes and we're going to make a lot of mistakes. And so we have to forgive. Um, and you know, we talked about it just in the last topic, but you got to forgive yourself too. I think that's very important. You have to love yourself. You know, one of the things that you talked about at the very beginning here is you said, I never loved myself, never felt like anyone's loved me. I emotionally manipulated people and made them fear me in order to force them to love me. I thought it was the only way. Now, you should forgive yourself of that. Look, yeah, that wasn't right. But you know what? That's okay. What you said right here, you said this. I thought it was the only way. So forgive yourself. You didn't know better. You were simply doing what you knew worked. How can you blame yourself? You only know what you know. You can't know what you don't know. Just all of a sudden be like, oh, I know all the right things and all the right ways to do it and stuff. No, no one does. So be easy on yourself. And you know what? Sometimes we know the right ways to do things and we still don't do it because we know, hey, this other method might actually be effective, even though it's easier and yeah, it might hurt people in the end. You know, it's like we still do it. It's stupid. Um, and then we have to eventually come to grips with that and be like, wow, I'm an idiot. All right. Oh well. And forgive ourselves and be like, you know what? I'm gonna strive to become a better. I'm gonna strive to be better than that. Because you know what? I can't change the past. There's no redeeming it, but I can still become a better person, even now. I can still become a better person, even now that I've done that. I still have potential. That potential never leaves you, and so too shall hope never leave you, because you always have that ability to create something new, to be something new, to become something new.
Mhm.
And yeah, you take your past with you. A lot of that is to teach you. Um, all of us have things to talk about that we experienced in life that were not good, but shaped us into a better person in the end.
Mhm.
And sometimes we do that to ourselves, and we have to forgive ourselves, but also, understand like, hey, I messed up, but now I understand where I messed up, and now I can become better. Some people will never forgive you. Some people will always judge you. Some people will never love you. But you know what? Be the person who does, and you're going to be a lot happier than them.
Mhm.
Not to shove it in their face and be like, haha, I'm happy and you're not. No. But at least be happy. Um, because if you try to join that bandwagon and be like, yeah, I also won't forgive you then. If you're not going to forgive me, I'm not going to forgive you. If you're going to expect perfection from me, then I'm going to expect perfection from you and then just hate you because you'll never get it. Eh, that's not going to feel so good. It's not going to help you achieve what you really want in life. I mean, think of the things you want in life. Do any of them have to do with honestly hurting other people, getting revenge? Uh, do a lot of them are good things. They are good things to have, and they are gotten through good ways and through self improvement. And you can do that. You have, we have hope in you, and you should have hope in you as well. You still have hope, right? Here's the thing: a lot of people emotionally manipulate people, so
Yes.
that they will feel loved. A lot of people do that. You're not a rare case in that. Um, and I know I've done that in the past. I don't do it now. At least I try not to. Um, Sometimes I might do it without realizing it, and then looking back, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I think I just did that. That's terrible. I need to go apologize to that person." I've literally done that to people, and then walked up to them the next day and said, "I'm sorry. I think I accidentally was trying to manipulate you into something, and that's not right. And I know you probably didn't even notice, and I might be like the only one that know, but I'm really sorry, and I feel terrible about doing that." I've done that before. I've walked, you know, um, but you are loved here, at least. And you know what? Um, you know, you said you feel like no one's ever loved you. And I think it's possible that no one's ever accepted you, and that's okay. But love is a different thing. Someone might love you and not know how to help you, but they still love you. Someone might love you and not agree with what you're saying, but still love you. Someone might love you and distance themselves from you, but they still love you. Someone might love you and tell you to do something that you don't want to do, but they still love you. There are things that you might do in life that are not okay, or some things that you might do that you think are okay, or maybe they are, but other people don't agree with you. But that has little to do with love. That has a lot to do with acceptance.
Hmm.
I think it's important. Don't buy into the idea of acceptance because that is a self destructive. modern concept. Don't don't chase acceptance, don't search for acceptance because no one's going to accept you. Because you can't even accept yourself because you fail in all sorts of different stuff just like the rest of us. And you're going to desire things that are not okay. It's not okay to want to hurt somebody, right? And sometimes you're going to want to. um, and it's you'll never accept that part of you, but you're not supposed to. That's the thing. You don't accept yourself because you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to come to be like, you know what? All of those things I did in the past are justified because it's okay that I did all those manipulative things and hurt people and made them scared of me and things like that. Because that's, I'm going to find a way to make that okay so that I can come to like myself and who I was in the past. No, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to like who you are in the past because who cares? That past person is gone, done and gone. Now you're you. What are you going to do now? Love yourself means to want the best for yourself. It means not accepting yourself when you do the wrong things. It means looking at those wrong things and say, I can be a better person than that. And I know I can be
Mhm.
because I have been at some points in my life before and I have potential. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to hand it back over to Joe. It looks like you're still with us. So that's good. Hopefully your phone won't die anytime soon.
Yeah. Winter, I wanna read through some of these updates. I
Yeah.
think I think the thing that hurt the most was the fact that she didn't even speak to me or give me a chance. She simply wanted nothing to do with me. She didn't trust that I'd changed even after all this work and effort that I put into changing. It all feels worthless. And I know it's not worthless, but it feels like it since what I was trying to do never even worked. I wasn't prepared for failure. And that there's a lot of wisdom in that because yeah, it's not worthless, but it feels like it because it's like you were doing all these things for there were some specific reasons that you were doing these things, and when those reasons didn't pan out, it totally can feel like it's worthless. But the thing to remember is that any changes we make in ourselves still may not affect other people around us. Now, they will affect people around us, but they may not affect the people that we have in mind. Like, I can tell you this, and another thing also to think about is it just might take some more time. Like, it might take years, because sometimes I mean, I've done things that I didn't even mean to do or try to do, and it hurt people, and then it caused a huge rift in our relationship, like totally closed off a whole bunch of our relationship for years. Years. I mean, it's crazy to think of that. And you know, no matter how much I grow and change, some people are really, really stubborn. And they're sometimes people need the healing of forgiveness, but we can't ever make somebody forgive.
Hmm.
And a lot of times people think that forgiveness is they're going to be letting that other person off the hook and making them think that they got away with what they did and what they did was so wrong. And yeah, it's true. Maybe what we did was super wrong. But for them to forgive us isn't for us, it's for them and their healing. Just like for us, when we go through that process of forgiveness, it's for our own healing. And so we don't have to have that stubborn wall put up and said, nope, I'm just not going to deal with that anymore ever because this happened and it hurt. Yes, that happened and it hurt. And if you've expressed your sorrow for that, if you've said you're sorry for hurting them, you didn't mean to hurt them, you didn't want to hurt them, and that you were really sorry for hurting them, and that you feel really bad about it, and that you're going to try and do better, as far as that other person is concerned, there's not a whole lot more you can do except continue to grow and change. And like I said, it might take years before they let the wall down. And it won't have anything necessarily to do with your growth and change.
Hmm.
It'll have very little to do with your growth and change. It'll have everything to do with their ability to forgive. And that is up to each one of us. Like we don't get to choose somebody else's level of forgiveness. We choose our own. And we have to let other people choose their own. Sometimes I think of my own story. I think of some of the journeys I've been through and the personal growth and the change and learning some of these things. And then I think about other people in my life, and I'm like, what? Why can't they just see what I'm trying to tell them with this? And then I have to check myself, and I'm like, wait a second. The only way I ever learned this stuff was to go through this really long journey. I had to go through this super long journey to get to the point where I understood this stuff so that I could begin the process of healing.
Hmm.
But it never would have happened without that long journey. Who am I to deny somebody their own journey and try and speed them along the process when I know it took me a journey to get to that point? They need to experience their own journey
Hmm.
to get to that same point. And we can encourage them along the way and we can love them. But I think the most important thing you can do here, Winter, is you can just love them and be available. Not necessarily trying to trying to be in their face or trying to get on their whatever servers they're on or anything like that. But just if they know where you're at, they'll find you. You know, if you just make yourself available, love them from a distance, love them in your heart, have love in your heart for them, and be available for when they're ready. It might take a really long time, but this is where prayer comes in, and it can be a very comforting thing to pray for that other person while they go through their own journey to learn some of the stuff they need to learn to get through it. Because then what you're doing is you're realizing, you know what, this isn't me. I can't really do anything. I can't influence this situation anymore by anything that I do. But there are powers beyond me that can. And so whatever I do to invoke those powers through prayer, that can help. So some of this is going to be developing the virtue of patience. And that's one of the most difficult ones to develop because you got to wait.
Wait for it, and now you have virtue of patience. Wait, no, not you. You got too eager. Wait for it.
Yep. And at the end of it, if you're anything like me, you're going to be scary to small children. And people are going to laugh at you for it. And that's okay.
Nice.
So Winter, uh that's about all I got. I mean, I hope some of that was helpful for you. And Ryan, do you have anything to wrap it, to put a bow on this?
Yeah, I just really liked what you're talking about with the journey because honestly, you get to a point in your life after you've gone through a journey and you start to realize other people are still learning themselves and you're able to let go. And I think it's super important to do that. Let go of other people around you and
Mhm.
understand that they have a journey to go through. And I mean that when you're trying to help them, like, "Oh my gosh, this person is not listening to the things I had to say, they don't get it," or like, I'm telling them, "Do this if you wanna be helped. Why are you not listening to me? Why you are not listening? I said it like 4 times. You still don't wanna do it? Okay, you just don't wanna be helped. Okay, whatever." Let it go. People have their own journey.
Mhm.
Be there to support them through it.
Mhm.
And that's really what all you can do. And I think that's true for people also on the other side. People who maybe who are trying to help you, but you can't, but that relationship is closed off now, or people you've loved that have gone off on their own different thing now. Maybe they left you for bad reasons, selfish reasons, or maybe they left you for other reasons that aren't necessarily selfish, you know? Um, Either way, it's important to be able to let go of people um, and not get overly attached to them and just let them have their own journey. And you will continue your journey and grow from yours as they do theirs. And
Mhm.
then you'll meet up in the future. And you know what? The journey you guys shared in the past will have an effect on the future. So when you guys do meet up again, you'll hopefully both be better from it for it, for the past that you guys did share together, whatever that was. Um, but yeah, it's definitely important to be able to let go sometimes and say, you know what, they'll grow up someday or
Mhm.
whatever. you know, I had to go through some things, and I still have things to go through. So
Yeah, you do.
yeah, like old age. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, so yeah, that's that's it.
Thanks, Winter, and remember that wherever you go, our love follows you,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
that's
you'll
true.
always be welcome here. You'll always be accepted.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah, you are a respectable person,
Mhm.
and we admire your desire for change and reflecting on everything that you did here. I think that's super important and super. I've been using the word super a lot today, apparently. Huh, weird. Anyways, it's really
Super
great,
duper.
super, super. It's super that you shared this with us, and we really appreciate it. And it seems to me like you're growing in a lot of ways, and you're discovering things about the world. And yeah, it can seem disheartening at times. But also, there's so much light. Light can be seen in the darkness, no matter where the light is. And that light shines and pierces the eyes. The stronger the darkness, the stronger the light appears. You know, you can go into a dark room and you can light up a candle, and no matter where you stand in the room, you can see that candle. You can see the light that it shines. You can see that it bounces off the walls and lights up the room. And it's a beautiful thing about light. And so that's kind of the beautiful thing about the world we live in. Yeah, there's a lot of bleak spots, but that's also a lot of opportunity for beautiful things too. And sometimes the beautiful can be seen within the dark, if if you put the right perspective on it, or you add the right element, especially like forgiveness in a world that doesn't make room for mistakes. Um, Especially like, we grow up in a system like a school system where they grade you on everything, and the best people who did the best, perform the best, get acknowledged for it, and they get to go on stage at the end of the year after they graduate and be the one that speaks, and they get glorified because they got perfect scores. And the reality is, while that's really cool for those people, and I encourage people to try hard, like those people are trying, they're trying very hard to get those scores. um, the reality is they're not more valuable than anybody else there.
Mhm.
um, and that even though you might have made a bunch of mistakes where they didn't, you're you're just as valuable, and you can do a whole lot with your life, and the score had no impact on it, because the score is just a number and doesn't really, I mean, that we're not numbers. Humans aren't just numbers. um, and so yeah, mistakes can be forgiven, and they don't always lead to bad things in the future. In fact, our mistakes are what help us grow the most a lot of times.
Mhm.
So um, yeah, anyways, that's what I got. Thank you guys for joining us today. We hope you've
Yes.
had enjoyable time, and thoughtful stuff was happening in your head. Um, yeah. Cool. Anything you want to close this up with, Joe?
Yeah.
Hmm. Go for it. Ah,
You know, it's funny. Like, I did find out yesterday that I am scary to small children.
really?
Yes.
Just by when they see you, they're like instantly
Well,
scared.
it was hilarious because we were at martial arts, right? And
Mhm.
you know, we were helping teach. Part of our program we're in now is to help teach the lower level classes and stuff, right?
Mhm.
As we go. And one of those was they're called the tiny tigers. It's the kids that are ages like 3 to 6, basically. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
so
Mhm.
they're really little. They don't they don't know a whole lot yet, and obviously they're still trying to figure out how to move their body in a lot of ways. So as we were doing this, it was hilarious because uh, we're I can't remember what the exercise was we were doing. But they're like, "Oh, do you want which one of the instructors do you want to come help you?" And
Uh,
all of them pointed to the other girl that was over there. Like they're all every single one of them wanted her to help. They're like, "Yeah." They're all scared of Mr. Anderson.
maybe they're not just scared of you, but more so that they're probably, as a child, more lenient towards female because it's motherly.
Maybe
And also, how old was she?
she's 13 or 14.
Yeah, that's another thing. Teenagers are cooler than adults.
Yeah, they are. It's true.
So, except if you actually have a teenage brother and they pick on you, and then you're like, teenagers are stupid. No, I'm going with the adult on this one. I'm wiser. I'm all the wiser for knowing that the adult knows more. No, okay.
Right.
Anyway, it might be that you're scared of children, but it might also been the factor of just she was more appealing.
Yeah. I'm scary because I have no hair.
Oh, that's it.
Keaton
Yeah.
says Evie did walk up to me while watching once and asked why you didn't have hair. She was a little shocked, it seemed.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yep. I don't have hair because well, there's all kinds of reasons I've given
Yeah.
why I
Well,
don't have hair.
you shaved. Yeah.
Yep. Because one day I woke up and I had bedhead and I was said that's enough of that.
You're like, nope,
Got
done with that. Don't want that. It's gone.
never bedhead ever again.
Much easier to comb my hair in the morning when there's no hair to comb.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's right.
I never comb my hair in the morning myself, but
And it always looks amazing and flawless.
it doesn't maybe look flawless. But yeah, I'm very blessed to have hair. Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us all. You guys are awesome, um, and we will see you on Wednesday. For those of you who join us and the gaming streams that Jesse and I do, we'll see you tomorrow. If you don't know about that, um, know about it. Why don't why haven't you known about it? If you don't know about it, just know about it now. All right. I would get you that link, but I think Joe might already be on it. There it is. Yep.
Hey,
So there you are. Um, anyways, yeah, that's it for today. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. You're all wonderful. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
bye guys.